There is something about you, and I need you to sit with that for a second before we go any further. Not in the surface level, complimentary kind of way that people throw around. I mean something real, something that people feel before they can even name it, before they can explain why they keep thinking about you, before they even realize they've been doing it. There is a pull in your energy that doesn't require effort, doesn't demand attention, doesn't need to perform for a room. It just is. And the people around you, they feel it. They carry it home with them. They lie in bed at night wondering why a conversation with you felt like the first full breath they'd taken in weeks. That is why you are here today. Not because you are chasing something, not because you are lost or confused. You are here because something inside you already knows how rare and how powerful you actually are, and you came for confirmation. You came to understand what others see when they look at you and why they cannot stop. Welcome in. My name is Juliet, and I am so glad this reading found its way to you today, because what the cards are about to reveal is not small. This is a deep one. This is the kind of reading that is going to cut right through the noise and get to the truth of who you are and the effect your energy has on the people in your world. Whether they say it out loud or not, you are living in their thoughts. And today we find out exactly what that looks like and where it is going. Take a breath. Let yourself land here fully, because this is for you. Before I pull into the individual cards, I want to talk about the overall energy that is surrounding you right now, because it is something that most people never get to experience from the outside looking in. There is a rare quality to what you carry. It is not loud, it is not performative. It is not the kind of magnetism that begs for validation or collapses without applause. What you hold is something more like a frequency, a warmth that people step into and immediately feel something relax in their chest that they did not even know was tight. The energetic atmosphere around your reading today feels almost luminous. There is clarity here, and underneath that clarity, there is a deep well of emotional intelligence that you have been developing quietly, often without realizing just how much you have grown. You have been through things that required you to go inward, things that forced you to learn yourself, to understand your own rhythms, your own needs, your own truth. And that internal work, it radiates. It is impossible to be around someone who has done genuine inner work and not feel it. The people in your life feel it. The people who have crossed your path and moved on still feel it. And that lingering warmth you leave behind is what this reading is going to speak to today. There is also something here about the way you receive people. You have a way of making someone feel like the most important person in the room, not through flattery or performance, but because you actually see them. You pay attention in a way that most people are starving for and do not even know it until they meet someone like you. That gift is both beautiful and something you need to be mindful of, because not everyone who benefits from your light is equally prepared to honor it. The cards are going to bring all of that into focus. Let us go in. The first card speaks directly to your intuition, and what it is showing me is that you have been receiving signals from within yourself that you have either been second guessing or quietly trusting without fully giving yourself credit for. Your intuition is not just functioning, it is operating at a heightened level right now. There is a quiet inner voice that has been speaking to you, possibly about a situation, a person, or a direction in your life. And what this card is confirming is that voice is accurate. Not sometimes accurate, not partially accurate. Accurate. Here is the psychological truth underneath this. People who carry the kind of warm, generous energy that you carry often spend a great deal of time tuning into other people. You read rooms, you read feelings, you pick up on what is unspoken. And over time, living in that much sensitivity can make it harder to trust yourself, because you are so practiced at considering how others feel that your own inner knowing can start to feel quieter than it actually is. This card is telling you that is no longer the case. Whatever you have been sensing, whatever instinct has been surfacing in you about someone or something specific, it is not anxiety talking. It is not fear projecting. It is truth. And the people around you, the ones who are orbiting your energy and thinking about you when you are not in the room, some part of them already knows this about you. They know you see through things. That awareness creates in them a mix of admiration and vulnerability that keeps them locked into thoughts of you. The second card is about releasing the grip on outcomes, and I want to be precise about what this is really saying, because it goes deeper than just letting go. There is something in your energy right now that is being asked to shift, not away from caring, but away from monitoring. You care deeply. You invest genuinely. And when something or someone matters to you, there is a natural pull to want to shape the outcome, to make sure things land the way they are supposed to protect what you have poured yourself into. But this card is showing me that your power is not in the controlling, it never was. Your power is in the doing, in the being, in the intention you bring before any result is even visible. And right now, the universe is asking you to trust that what you have already given is enough to set things in motion. You do not have to follow up every act of care with surveillance over whether it landed correctly. You do not have to measure whether someone is responding to you the way you hoped. The effort you made was real. The impact you left was real. What happens next is not entirely in your hands, and that is not a failure of yours. That is just the natural boundary between what you can influence and what must unfold on its own. For the people in your world who are thinking about you right now, this card reflects something interesting about the dynamic. There are people who are holding their feelings about you very tightly, trying to figure out exactly what to do with the way you make them feel. They are in a kind of internal negotiation, wrestling with emotions they did not necessarily plan for. And while that happens, you are being guided not to chase that resolution, not to press for clarity or confirmation. Your role right now is not to fill the silence, it is to let the silence do its work. The third card is one of the most hopeful cards in this reading, and I say that not as comfort, but as a genuine energetic reading of what is present here. A breakthrough is near. And I want you to understand what that means on multiple levels, because it is not just about a circumstance changing. It is about something shifting in the invisible architecture of what you have been building. You may have been in a season that felt like a long hallway, like you were doing all the right things, holding your integrity, staying true to yourself, and yet the door at the end just kept not appearing. That experience of sustained effort without visible reward is exhausting in a way that is hard to articulate. It requires a kind of quiet endurance that most people underestimate. And what this card is revealing is that you are at the end of that hallway, not metaphorically close, actually close. The turning point that you have been moving toward is imminent, and it is going to feel like an exhale that your whole body has been waiting for. This also speaks to something within the relational dynamics around you. For the people who carry feelings for you, who have been holding back or processing or trying to figure out their own courage, something is also shifting in them. A decision is forming, a conversation is coalescing. There is movement that has not been visible yet, but that is getting ready to break through the surface. Whether that movement is coming toward you or whether it is an internal shift in how you view a certain connection, the energy of stagnancy is breaking up, and that is significant. The force card is something I want to spend real time with because it speaks to the most essential part of who you are and why your energy does what it does to people. Your soul already knows the way. That is not poetry. That is a description of something that is functionally true about you right now. There is a wisdom in you that exists below the level of thinking, below the level of analyzing, below the level of trying to figure things out from the outside in. You have an inner knowing that guides you toward the right things, toward the right people, toward the right moments, even when your mind is uncertain, even when you question yourself, even when you temporarily allow someone else's doubt to land on you and make you wonder if you have been reading things wrong. That knowing does not leave. It just waits for you to get quiet enough to hear it again. And here is what is psychologically fascinating about this in the context of why your energy is so contagious. People who are deeply internally connected to themselves carry a kind of certainty that is not arrogance, it is groundedness. And groundedness is one of the rarest and most attractive qualities a human being can possess, because most people are walking around in some degree of internal turbulence. Most people are managing anxiety, managing self doubt, managing the noise of who they are supposed to be versus who they actually are. When they encounter someone who is quietly rooted, who is not performing or pretending or scrambling, they feel it like solid ground. They want to stand near you because you make them feel stable in a world that often does not. That is the energetic contagion. That is why people feel like they are floating when they are around you. Your rootedness lifts them. The fifth card is one that I think you need to hear, even if it surprises you in the context of this reading, because it is not a soft card. This card is about your no, about the power and the necessity of your boundaries. And within the warmth and magnetism that we have been talking about, this card arrives as something protective, as a reminder that the very qualities that draw people to you can also, if you are not careful, be the qualities that invite too much of the wrong kind of energy into your space. Saying no is not a rejection of your nature. It is not the opposite of being someone who makes people feel good. It is actually an extension of self respect that makes the yes you give even more meaningful. When you say yes to everything, when you allow every energy to have access to you, when you give without filtering, two things happen. One, your own energy depletes in ways that quietly show up as exhaustion, resentment, or a subtle sense of being unseen. And two, you teach the people around you that your energy has no cost, which paradoxically makes them value it less. This card is asking you to look at where you have been overextending. Where have you been staying in conversations that drain you? Where have you been absorbing someone's emotional weight that was never yours to carry? Where have you been saying yes with your mouth while your body said no? The people who genuinely deserve the cloud nine feeling you give them will respect your boundaries. The ones who disappear when you set them, that is valuable information. Let the boundary do the filtering for you. The sixth and final card in this reading brings everything together in a way that is almost poetic, because it speaks to the thing that is most commonly misunderstood about you. Your softness is your strength. Not your softness despite your strength, your softness as your strength. There is a tendency in the world to frame sensitivity as something to overcome, empathy as something to manage, gentleness as something to protect against exploitation. And maybe you have even internalized some version of that. Maybe you have wondered at times whether you feel too much, whether you care too openly, whether your emotional attunement makes you somehow more vulnerable than you want to be. This card is a complete correction of that belief. Your sensitivity is not a liability, it is an instrument. The way you pick up on what people need before they say it, the way you hold space for someone's emotions without collapsing under the weight of them, the way you can communicate care through a look or a pause or a choice to simply stay, these are not accidental qualities. They are the mechanism by which your energy reaches people on a level that bypasses the usual walls and defenses that humans construct around their hearts. You reach people not because you push through those walls, but because your softness makes them irrelevant. They let you in. And that is why the people in your world think about you the way they do. Not because you were loud or dramatic or demanding, but because you were real with them. Because you made them feel something genuine at a time when genuine is exactly what they were starving for. Now I want to speak to what is hiding beneath the surface of the connections around you. The parts that people are not saying out loud, but that this reading is pulling into the light. There are people in your life, possibly one person in particular, who occupies a significant portion of this energy, who are in the middle of something they have not resolved about you. They are not indifferent. Indifference would be easier. What they're experiencing is something more complex, a form of emotional reckoning where they have to confront the fact that what they felt around you did not behave the way they expected it to. They thought they could enjoy the warmth of your presence and remain in control of their own feelings. They thought they could walk away unaffected. They were wrong. What they are hiding is not just affection, it is the realization that you redefined something for them. You shifted their standard. You became a reference point against which other experiences are now being measured, often without your awareness. They might be going about their day, having a conversation, eating a meal, lying in the dark, trying to sleep, and something will remind them of the way things felt when you were present. Not dramatically, not always consciously, but consistently. They are also hiding a fear that is rooted in something uncomfortable. They are afraid that the window is closing, that your energy, which they did not fully honor or acknowledge when they had access to it, is moving on and finding places where it is properly received. That fear is growing. And whether they act on it is going to depend on whether their courage catches up with their longing before the moment passes completely. As this energy moves forward, what I am seeing is not a dramatic confrontation or a sudden reversal. What I see is a gradual rising. Your energy is not dimming. It is not circling back to beg for recognition from the people who missed it. It is expanding. It is reaching the people and the spaces that are actually aligned with what you carry. And that expansion has a gravitational effect. Things that are meant for you will begin to move more naturally into your orbit. The resistance that you may have felt, the sense of pushing uphill, that is softening. For the connections that matter, the ones with genuine depth and genuine soul level resonance, there is real potential for communication and clarity to arrive in the coming weeks. Something that has been suspended, something that has been sitting in unspoken territory between you and another person, is getting ready to land. The question is not whether it will come. The question is whether you will be in a grounded enough place to receive it without abandoning yourself in the process. Because here is the thing, your energy is magnetic, yes, but you are not in this story simply to be someone else's awakening. You are in this story as the main character of your own life, and the reading is asking you to hold that truth even as things begin to shift and move around you. If I could leave you with anything, it would be this: you do not have to earn the impact you have on people. You do not have to work harder to justify why someone feels the way they feel around you. The cloud nine sensation that others experience in your presence is not something you manufactured, it is something you are. And the work ahead of you is not about becoming more of it, it is about protecting it, tending to it, choosing carefully who receives full access to it, and being willing to say, with love but without apology, that not everyone gets the full version of you. Trust your intuition, it is not lying to you. Release the need to control what you cannot control, because the things that belong in your life will come and will stay without you having to hold them in place by force. Keep moving forward even when the progress is not visible, because the breakthrough is genuinely close. Listen to the part of you that already knows. Honor your no as fiercely as you honor your yes, and never ever mistake your softness for weakness. It is one of the most powerful things about you, and the right people will know exactly how to honor it. This has been such a beautiful reading to sit with, and I hope it landed where it was meant to for you. I am Juliet, and if this resonated deeply, I would love for you to let me know in the comments. Come claim it. Drop something that tells me this found you. It genuinely helps more people find readings like this, and it means so much to see the community this work is building. If you are not subscribed yet, please do. There is so much more coming, and you will not want to miss what is next. Like this video if it brought you something real today, and share it with someone who needs to hear that their energy matters more than they know. Until next time, take care of yourself. You deserve every bit of the light you give out. I will see you soon.